Hello folks, Everchanger here and welcome back to more Pokemon Crystal. Last time we got our journey started here in the post-game of Pokemon Crystal. We boarded the SS Aqua and we got here to Vermilion City, and I have to say, I love this music. This is the first iteration of this song that I ever heard, and it's really stuck with me. Now, one thing I should point out about the Kanto section of the game, it is massively open-ended. You can access about 2/3 of the region right off the bat here, which technically means you can do pretty much anything in the post-game in whatever order you want from this point onwards, with only a few exceptions. For that reason, I'm obviously not going to be taking the same route that any other player might take, just because you have so many options. So I think mainly what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and take a pretty optimal route through the Kanto region to minimize backtracking. That's going to be my main guiding philosophy throughout this half of the adventure. Anyway, first things first, as we are in Vermilion City, I figured we would show off some things. First things first, I will show off the Pokemart. Here is its inventory right here. And little light blue male, Dratini print male. Interesting. Alright, anyway, just wanted to show off the inventory because that's a customary thing to do. Keep this guy in mind for later, he will be important in a while. And then we have this. Snorlax is snoring peacefully. Yep, that trope's in this game too. Now, I should mention, there is a hidden item in the Vermilion City harbor that I didn't grab because I simply didn't know about it last time. You can only get it immediately after arriving from Olivine City on the SS Aqua. So, just gonna point that out, it is a PP up, I think. Let me check my notes. No, it's an iron. Okay, it's an iron, and we will be getting it at a later point, but unfortunately I missed it temporarily, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, another thing right over here is very iconic. We have this dude. My Pokemon is preparing the land for construction, but I have no money to start the project. And you never will, buddy, if later games are anything to go by. Machop is causing the screen to vibrate. A Machop is growling while stomping the ground flat. I believe this is the only generation where the screen actually shakes like that. Really like that. Vermilion City, the port of exquisite sunsets. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Anyhow, next up we have... This is not the right building. Next up we have this. The Pokemon Fan Club. All Pokemon fans, welcome. Why doesn't Johto have one of these? It's a Clefairy, huh? Oh right, it's a Clefairy Pokédoll. Keep that in mind for later. I love the way Clefairy waggles its finger when it's trying to use metronome. It's so adorable. Anyway, the main reason I came in here is to speak to this guy. This guy is a classic. I'm the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. I've raised over 150 Pokemon, so it looks like he's raised even more since he was seen 3 years ago. I'm very fussy when it comes to Pokemon. Did you visit just to hear about my Pokemon? Yes. Good, then listen up. So, my favorite Rapidash. Cute, lovely, smart, unbearably, plus amazing. Oh, you think so? Too much. Wild, beautiful, kindly, love it. Hug it when sleeping, warm and cuddly. Oh, and spectacular. Ravishing, simply divine. Oops, look at the time. I've kept you too long. How English is that dialogue? I know it's supposed to convey the sense of you being here for a very long time listening to him talk and only hearing glimpses of what he said, but honestly it always just sounded as if he didn't know how to speak English to me. Thanks for hearing me out. I want you to have this. And we get a free rare candy for listening to him, so honestly, not the worst setup in the world. It's a rare candy that makes Pokemon stronger. I prefer making my Pokemon stronger by battling, so you can have it. Hey man, I've done my fair share of battling. I don't think you should be giving me any sorts of sass when it comes to training my Pokemon. I train them how I want. Anyway, gonna swap Marowak into the front here because the only thing really left in Vermilion City for the time being is actually the gym, and the fact that there is a full heal hidden in this bush. Now, in previous games, you needed to have cut in order to get into the gym. However, because we are cheaters, we can simply surf around it. Vermilion City Pokémon Gym. Leader Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American. Sure could use one of those right about now. Anyway, head right on in here, and this is indeed a 9th gym in a Pokemon game. The Johto-based games are the only ones to do this, but yes indeed, there are 8 more gyms in Kanto for us to challenge. Yo, champion making. You lucked out this time. Lieutenant Surge is very cautious. He has traps set all over the gym, but the traps aren't active right now. You'll have no problem getting to Lieutenant Surge. Yep, in Generation 2 only, this gym has no puzzle. Every single trash can is nothing but trash. You're going to want to prepare to hear that a lot in Generation 2 only. Because of cartridge space limitations, a lot of stuff that you saw in Heart Gold and Soul Silver simply is not present here, because they straight up could not get it to fit, and this puzzle is one of them. Lieutenant Surge recognized my potential with electric Pokemon. Think you can beat me? And? You hear that? Here's a nostalgia trip. In Kanto, the Wild Battle theme, the Trainer Battle theme, and the Gym Leader Battle theme are all remixes of what was heard in Generation 1, which is very, very cool. Now, one thing worth noting about this song, it is much shorter in Gold, Silver, Crystal than it is in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Again, I have a feeling that might be due to cartridge space limitations, but there's actually a whole chunk of this song that simply is not in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. If you don't believe me, just check out the official Heart Gold and Soul Silver soundtrack. The Gold, Silver, and Crystal version of this song is 1 minute and 2 seconds, while the Heart Gold and Soul Silver trainer theme is 1 minute and 45 seconds. So 43 seconds of this song just straight up are not in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which is really, really interesting. I definitely encourage you to go check out the soundtrack and listen for yourself. There's just a big chunk of the song that got added back into the remake, which is really, really interesting. It's something I actually didn't make conscious note of until quite recently, honestly. So yeah, very, very interesting bit of trivia right there. Anyway, in case you couldn't guess, this is Marowak's gym. Everything in this gym is electric type, and I am going to be taking advantage of this fact as much as I can, because everything in here has only one weakness, ground, and that explosion was sad. Wait, it wasn't even an explosion, I think it was a self-destruct, which is even sadder. Anyway, the game pulls a fast one on you if you step right into this spot, and you have to face the second trainer immediately. I'm going to take you down. Prepare to be shocked. Oh, the puns. The puns, the puns indeed. Now, another fun fact about the battle music. In the remake, the wild Pokemon that you encounter on routes 27, 26, Tojo Falls, and Victory Road, the wild Pokemon music in that game will actually change to the wild battle music of the Kanto region once you complete the main story. Same with trainer battle music, which is really, really neat. However, the Elite Four music will stay the same. This change does not occur in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and I assume it's another case of not being able to fit the flag for these types of things onto the cartridge. Anyway, Marowak is trying to learn Thrash right here, and I do not deny that it is a good move. It's just like, I'd really like to keep a hold of the 4 moves it has already, so we're not going to be learning Thrash. Plus, Thrash does have an element of risk to it, and I don't know, I've always just shied away from moves like that. Anyway, going to throw a Bone Meringue at this guy, and as you can see, Electrode is a blazing fast Pokemon. But hopefully we can survive its onslaught, and yeah, wow, it goes down. Another case of the level curve in the Kanto region being kind of weird, because these Pokemon are in the 30s. We have beaten Pokemon in the 50s. This is a provable fact. So, really not sure what's up with the level curve here. People argue that because you can do most of the... In fact, I think in this game in particular, you can do any of the gyms in the Kanto region in any order you want. They sort of have to flatten out the level curve a little bit, but at least put them up in like the mid-50s. I mean, can't we just raise the bar from Lance? Because this is a fight that you are required to do after beating Lance. So why can't we just boost the levels a little bit? I have no idea. I really don't know why they made this decision when making the game. And honestly, the rebalancing hacks that I've seen for this game do a pretty good job of mitigating it, so it obviously wouldn't have been much of a big deal to just not have it a problem in the first place. Anyway, one more trainer in this gym, and it's this gentleman. You're here to defeat Lieutenant Surge? Not if I can help it. Oh, that battle intro. I don't know why, but that battle intro just seems just so wacky. Like, Johto has a sense of, I don't know, epicness to it, but when it comes to the Kanto music, it all seems so cheery, although since we technically are already champions, I guess some cheeriness in our lives isn't unwarranted. Anyway, here we have a Pikachu, which we still can't obtain, although that will actually finally be changing soon. Yeah, if you didn't get a Pichu from the odd egg, you are still, at this point in the game, unable to obtain a Pikachu. And since the odd egg isn't in Gold and Silver at all, anyone who's playing those games and following along just can't have that Pokemon yet. Crazy, crazy stuff. That's why I mainly chose using Electabuzz and Marowak on the team, because they're Pokemon that you really cannot see in playthroughs of Gold and Silver, and I felt that they would spice things up a bit. Sorry I failed you, Lieutenant Surge, sir. And he gives us lots of money, as gentlemen usually do. Anyway, we didn't take much damage with these gym trainers, and yes, there are only 3 of them, but I'm gonna go top off my health at the Pokemon Center anyway, just as a customary thing. And we are back, and like the gym guy said, we can just stroll back here without having to complete that puzzle at all, which is really nice. It's honestly a really tedious puzzle, and I kind of appreciate its absence here. Hey, you little tyke. I have to hand it to you. It may not be very smart to challenge me, but it takes guts. When it comes to electric Pokemon, I'm number 1. I've never lost on the battlefield. I'll zap you just like I did my enemies in war. Now, prepare for what is probably my favorite song in the game. Leader Lieutenant Surge wants to battle, and oh my god, the Kanto Gym Leader battle music in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is so good. Like, can we just dedicate the comments section of this episode to gushing about the music in Pokemon games? I mean, this one in particular, but seriously, I feel like people do not give the music in these games enough credit because they are phenomenal soundtracks. Anyway, first up is a Raichu, level 44, with the moves Thunderbolt, Thunder, Thunder Wave, and Quick Attack. Marowak walls this thing to death because the only thing it can hit it with is Quick Attack. However, I can hit it with an Earthquake, so wave goodbye because it's gone. Alright, next up we have Electrode, level 40, with the moves Screech, Double Team, Swift, and Explosion. Kinda weird moveset it's got right here. Couple of moves that don't even deal damage, and of course, it uses Double Team, but we hit it with an Earthquake anyway. And I have to ask, why on earth can Double Team cause a Pokemon to be more evasive to a freaking Earthquake? Can someone just explain that to me, please? Anyway, Marowak gets level 47, which is awesome. And up next we have Magneton. Magneton is level 40 with the moves Zap Cannon, Lock On, Double Team, and Swift. Zap Cannon is a move I don't think we've seen yet, and it's pretty scary. It is an electric-type move that if it hits you, will paralyze. There is no question about it. However, it is a coin flip's chance of hitting, hence that Lock On, so keep an eye out for that, because it can be scary. Anyway, next up is Electabuzz. Yeah, we've got a gym leader with 5 Pokemon. Took this game long enough. Level 46 with the moves Thunder Punch, Thunder, Light Screen, and Quick Attack. Honestly though, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. I think Earthquake is going to deal a lot of damage to this thing, if not outright one-hit it. Yep, there we go. Honestly, I was expecting every single Pokemon in this gym to be a one-shot because, like, look at it. We're coming in with a Marowak that outlevels his entire team, that knows Earthquake, and is holding a Soft Sand. I think we're set. Anyway, last up we have Electrode, level 40 with the moves Screech, Double Team, Swift, and Explosion. Yep, he has 2 identical Electrode on his team for some reason. Not sure why this game is pulling this kind of crap this late in the game, especially since they could have easily given this guy an Ampharos. I mean, are you really that scared of giving a Generation 1 gym leader a Generation 2 Pokemon? Really? Anyway, with that, we have defeated Lieutenant Surge. Ah, you are strong. Okay, kid, you get the Thunder Badge. Very good. I'd say it's been a long time since we've heard that jingle, but it's only been like, what, 4 episodes? Thunder Badge increases Pokemon's speed. Consider it proof that you defeated me. You wear it proudly here. Indeed we will. If we check our trainer case, you will indeed see that... Well, this is not our trainer case. You will indeed see that it doesn't render on this screen. Yep, unfortunately, I presume also due to cartridge limitations or perhaps just laziness or not knowing how to incorporate it, the 8 gym badges of Kanto will not display on this screen. If you play the remake, however, they do display, which will eventually result in a really cool looking 4x4 grid of 16 badges once you fully complete the Kanto region, which looks really cool. Unfortunately, in this game, the only way to check how many gym badges you have is to save, because as you can see, we now have a 9 listed next to our badge counter. Anyway, with that, I am going to go and heal, and then we are going to move onwards to greater things, although what do you have to say? Phew, that was an electrifying bout. It sure made me nervous. Grade A Oscar-winning dialogue here, people. And with that out of the way, there is, for once in the Kanto region, don't expect to hear this ever again, there is only one way for us to go, and that is north, to Route 6. Now, one thing you will notice about Route 6 immediately is that compared to its incarnation in Generation 1, it is extremely short. And this is true of every single route in the Kanto region, pretty much without exception. Every single route in this game has had its length cut by around half from how it looked in Generation 1. Because, as you might imagine, cramming a full-sized second region onto a Game Boy cart was not all that feasible, so while the cities will seem to be about the same in size, the routes are drastically downsized, and that also goes for the trainers. So, if you had a route in Red, Blue, and Yellow that had over a dozen trainers in it, you'd be lucky to see that same route have around 4 or 5 trainers in this game, so yeah. When I said Kanto was not gonna take long, I wasn't kidding. If Kanto takes 20 episodes, I will be extremely surprised because of this drastic reduction in the size of the region. I understand why they did it, and they definitely rectified it in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Pretty much every route in Kanto and Heart Gold and Soul Silver is about how long it was in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and they also upped the number of trainers to boot, so I'd say Heart Gold and Soul Silver probably have at least 40% more trainers in the Kanto region than Generation 2. So honestly, if you want a fully fledged Kanto region with a Johto region also present, you're going to want to go with the remake. Case in point, there are no items on this route, and we are actually already completely done exploring it. Yep, this route had like, what, 6 or 7 trainers in yellow? Here it has 2. Underground Path, Cerulean City to Vermilion City. Now what do you have to say? The road is closed until the problem at the power plant is solved. this is the first of many mentions of a power plant problem in the Kanto region. And it is very apparent that there is a problem because only half of these lights are on, right guys? No. It is simply a case of sprite limitations. A case of sprite limitations that was not fixed in Pokemon X and Y. Trust me, look up footage of Lumio City during the power outage in Pokemon X and Y. There are lights abound. But yeah, we have a bit of a role reversal here. We cannot take the underground path, and we are actually forced to enter Saffron City immediately. Welcome to Saffron City, home of the magnet train. That's what I'd normally say, but the magnet train isn't running now. It's not getting any electricity because there's something wrong with the power plant. Yep, we're gonna have to keep that in mind for a little bit later. But anyway, here we are in Saffron City. And I have to say, the Heart Gold and Soul Silver remix of the song that is playing right now, I don't know about you guys, but I'd say it's straight up perfect elevator music. Trust me on that. Anyway, I think we are going to heal up, and then we are going to end things off. So, this past episode of Pokemon Crystal, we explored Vermilion City, and we were able to conquer our 9th gym on our journey. And we were able to claim the Thunder Badge. This is normally where I'd show the trainer case, but you know. And next time on Pokemon Crystal, we find ourselves in Saffron City, and believe it or not, there is a gym here too. So what say you, we take on that gym as well? So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.